Hello everyone. Today we are having Mr. Sarun representing Biomedical Engineers and Technicians Association Kerala. Welcome, Sarun.
Thank you. Thank you, Satar.
Yeah, one of the interesting part about Sarun is I have seen you have a diversified background. You have, I think, MBA degree and you have LLB degree. I think you have done MS also. I think it would be great if you can give a brief introduction about yourself.
All right. Satar, good morning to you. And thank you so much for giving an opportunity for me to, to be a part of your biomedical vlogs, which is being followed followed by the people, or especially the biomedical fraternity from all part of the world. And I think it's a very good opportunity, or very good platform for sharing the things which are related to the biomedical engineers. And you have been doing an excellent job in it. So let me introduce myself. My name is, as you mentioned, it is Sarun Mani, and I am from basically from Kerala, northern district, one of the northern districts in Kerala that is called as Wayanad. And basically, I'm a biomedical engineer. I have got graduated in biomedical engineering, BE, that is from VTU, Karnataka. That was in 2007. Then after that, I have started my work. I started my career with Roche Diagnostics IVD in India, Bangalore. I was based at Bangalore. Then later, I had a short stint in Middle East in Qatar. I was working with Biomedical, one of the leading medical distribution company in Qatar for 6 years until 2017. 2017, I am back to India. Again, rejoined Roche for 1 year. Then later, I got an opportunity to work with my present company, that is Nova Biomedical, which is a company based at, again, IVD company based at Boston. And now I represent Nova Biomedical, and I am the international regional support manager for India and SAARC. And I do support other countries as well, other continents as well, some parts of Africa and some parts of the old Russia, and sometimes Middle East also. I do a secondary support, but my major the primary region is India and SAARC. When it comes to my credentials, as I mentioned, my basic degree is in biomedical engineering. Later, of course, I've done my LLB also from KSLU, Karnataka State Law University. It's all because law is a passion for me, and I believe everybody should know law. That does not mean that I know everything, but I know a little bit of that, and that's a kind of passion. I consider it as a passion. Then later, I've completed my MS in Industrial Engineering and Management also. And still I am a student. I call myself as a student. And right now, it's my MBA. That is my second PG in hospital management from Bharatiyar University. Hopefully, by this December, I'll be able to complete it. And by next year, 2022, I am planning to go for my doctoral studies in hospital management.
Yeah, other than Biomedical Engineers Association in Kerala, I know that you are part of different associations. So can you just mention about that as well?
Yeah, I was coming to that point. So right now I'm in this platform today representing BETAK. BETAK is Biomedical Engineers and Technicians Association Kerala. That is again a kind of unique organization for the biomedical engineers in India. No other states have this much established biomedical association. And I'm representing BETAK as its state president right now. And as you mentioned, I'm a part of BMESI also, Biomedical Engineering Society of India. BETAK is a kind of association for the biomedical engineers and technicians from Kerala. But whereas BMESI is a scientific body, or you can call it as a professional society or professional body for the biomedical engineers across India. Even the biomedical engineers from other countries also can join BMESI. I represent BMESI as its national joint secretary this time, this executive council. The previous executive council, I was an executive council member. So this time I've got an opportunity to contest for the post of joint secretary, and I got elected. BMESI is the only biomedical engineering society, or the professional biomedical engineering society, which is being enlisted in the WHO from Southeast Asia. They do have professional memberships, they do have institutional memberships, and I believe most of the engineering colleges and universities which are offering biomedical engineering courses, they are the institutional member of BMESI. And I am a part of BMESI from my college days.
When it comes to BTech, Biomedical Engineers and Technicians Association Kerala, can you just explain what actually BTech is? What is the thought process behind it? Why it is necessary?
When we talk about the BTech, that is the name itself, which is standing for, that is the Association for Biomedical Engineers and Technicians from Kerala. Or in a broad mind, you can call it as an organization for Keralite BMEs across the world. I'll call BTech as a brainchild of the many senior biomedical engineers. This thought process of having an organization, when you consider the scenario of India and Kerala especially, every professional engineers or like professional bodies like or the people, or even if it is the unskilled people also, like they have organizations, they have associations, just to raise their voices with the administration or with the general public. This is the main motto. This is the main, aim behind having an organization. This organization is not for, any kind of agitation, not for any kind of protest, but to represent biomedical engineers, to represent BME fraternity, to raise the voice of BME fraternity with the administration, with the authorities, with the general public. BTech is there. And of course, like when you talk about the origin of BTech, this is there. The thought process of BTech started, I'll call it as the late first decade of 21st century. That is somewhere around 2010, the thought process started with some of the senior biomedical engineers who are still working in Kerala and some of them are abroad. And later, because of some reasons, they could not realize that dream. Somewhere around 2016, 2017, some biomedical engineers, they have assembled in various parts of the state, like Calicut, like Cochin, like Kollam, Trivandrum. The dream of our biomedical engineering fraternity have come into realization. I'll call it has not 100% realized even now also. We have gone for a registration with the government. That is like our organization, our BTech association is registered under 1936 Trade Union Act of Government of India, and it is registered with the Labour Commissioner, Government of Kerala. And like our headquarters is at Calicut, which is in the northern part of Kerala. Right now, the status is that it is being approved from Calicut, and the file is being moved to other districts. Other districts, in the sense, the labor officers of other districts will inquire about having an organization with similar name in their districts. And if there is nothing, of course, like we will get the complete approval. The provisional registration is completed. The approval is already completed, and we are at the verge of getting the permanent affiliation or permanent registration.
Okay, so whenever we are forming an organization, of course, there will be some identified issues in the particular division. For when we are coming to the BTech, it's purely for biomedical engineers. So, is there any specific issues that are facing by biomedical engineers that you have identified?
Yes, Satar, biomedical engineering field. It's like. It's a baby still when you compare the age of our field with other traditional engineering fields like civil, electrical, mechanical, even the computer science. But biomedical engineering started, if I'm not wrong, the course got started in India in late 80s or the beginning of 90s. So that means our field is like only 23 or no, around 30 years old. That's all. The problem with any new generation course, engineering field is that common public is not aware. First of all, the common public is not aware of the new generation fields. But biotechnology has, overcome that situation because of that name and the popularity they received through all the medias. Biotechnology could overcome that situation, but biomedical could not. biomedical still today also, if somebody asked me what is your profession, then I'll have to explain from the beginning that like I'm a biomedical engineer. Then they will ask what is a biomedical engineer. Then I'll have to explain them like, yes, the people who are working or the engineers who are working in the hospital or in the medical side. Then they will, they'll somehow they will understand, or they act like they understand. So this is what the problem with biomedical engineering. Common public is not aware of a department or a kind of job like a biomedical engineer. That is one thing. Even the next level, if you think some of the hospitals also, or the people who are working in hospitals also, like they don't know the importance of biomedical engineering. First of all, we will come to that in details later. That is whose mistake or whose problem. How to overcome that. Like I can share my overview or my viewpoint. That may be wrong. That may not be acceptable for others. But that's my own viewpoint. But the problem with biomedical is that that's a new generation course. Still, I'll call it as a new generation course. It's a mix of many courses, and the common public is unaware of a job called biomedical engineer to an extent. So this is basically, and of course, like we have made many other issues also. The reason that why biomedical has come into existence, why BTech has come into existence, there are many reasons for that. There was no organization, there was no association, there was no body or a group to raise the voice of BME fraternity in Kerala with the administration. When it comes to the job, when it comes to the post creation of biomedical engineers, you can see that in government sector, you have PSCs, or you have permanent posts for all the jobs, you name it, it's there, but not for the biomedical. Even now, the biotechnology field is like very much advanced now. They have permanent postings in government sector and public undertakings, and the psychology, especially the psychologists. There was no post like that previously, but in DMEs and DHS, there are new posts for the psychologists, psychiatric social workers. They call with that name itself, but not for the biomedical. It's all because there was no association, there was no group to raise the voice, to make understand the government or authorities the importance of biomedical. There was nobody, and it's all because of that. And BTech is here foreseeing all this.
Yeah, I just want to ask. I have a list of engineering colleges in Kerala. I will just list out for the knowledge of the audience. We have around 4 engineering colleges, include KMCT Women's Engineering College, Saharda Engineering College, Thrissur, and Model Engineering College, Kochi, and TKM IT Kollam. And when it comes to Polytechnic, we have EK Nayanar Memorial Government Polytechnic, Trikaripur, and we have Kalyasheri Model Poly, Kannur, and Model Polytechnic, Vadagara. We have AWH in Calicut, and again KMCT Polytechnic College in Calicut, and we have Model Polytechnic Thrissur, and we have Model Poly Idukki and Government Polytechnic Vechuchiran. That are the polytechnic. Those provide biomedical engineering course or medical electronics. And we have also MG University Kottayam provide MSc Biomedical Instrumentation. When it comes to the total of this number of colleges, it's around 13 institutions which provide biomedical engineering course. On an average basis, if it is a number of capacity is 50 per batches, so it will come around 650. So every year around 650 students are passing out from all these colleges. So it would be great if you can just explain about the job opportunities the students are having in Kerala or India.
Yeah, Sattar, actually, you are right. These many institutions, they have either diploma or BTech course in biomedical engineering or biomedical electronics or instrumentation in Kerala. There is an ITI in Kerala which is offering course in medical electronics. Apart from that, there are around 14 VHSC schools, higher secondary schools. Like VHSC is kind of, it's a unique course which is being conducted by government of Kerala. There is no other state in India having a vocational higher secondary course, which is equivalent to PUC or which is equivalent to +2. But along with the other subjects which we study in, the +2, the VHSC students will have one kind of, one professional subject or one professional course they will have to undergo in 2 years. And as we all know that like the hotcake among the VHSC courses are agriculture or the medical laboratory technologist or livestock management. But we do have the biomedical field also has one. It was called as MOB, Maintenance of Biomedical Equipments previously, but they renamed it to BET now, Biomedical Equipment Technology now. So there are around 14 schools, 14 higher secondary schools in India, in Kerala, which is offering this course again. So if you count the number of people who are getting trained and getting passed out after the biomedical, any kind of biomedical, right from the +2 until UG, like it is huge. And around 650, as you mentioned, even more than that. And the neighboring states like Tamil Nadu and Karnataka has somewhere around 10 to 12 engineering colleges having medical electronics or biomedical engineering, UG, PG, and PhD. Then if you go to Tamil Nadu, Anna University is the technical university in Tamil Nadu, which is the largest technical university in India in terms of affiliated colleges and number of students getting passed out. Around 30 colleges, more than 30 colleges in Anna University has Biomedical Engineering Department. They offer the course in Biomedical Engineering. And I have done a survey, a basic kind of preliminary kind of survey from my end, which I update regularly. So in 2019 and 2020, the colleges, the engineering colleges which are affiliated to Tamil Nadu, the Anna University in Tamil Nadu, when they applied for a new course to be started from that academic year onwards, biomedical is one among the, the main courses which is applied by majority of the colleges. From 2019-20 onwards, you can see even more number of colleges in Tamil Nadu are offering biomedical course again. You have deemed universities in Tamil Nadu. You have private universities in Tamil Nadu. So altogether, somewhere around 40 or 45 organized institutions are offering biomedical engineering from Tamil Nadu. Majority of the students, or at least 30% of the students from Tamil Nadu are Keralites. Again, if you calculate the total number of people, students, let us limit it to the core South India, that is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. The number of biomedical engineering students which are getting passed out every year will be more than 1,000. And when you compare the job prospects or job opportunity, currently the demand versus supply graph is not stable. It is not at all stable, because for the students who are getting passed out, like for around 1,000 or 1,200 students who are getting passed out, the job prospect is not that much in Kerala. This is my view, my perspective. But yes, there are opportunities not only in Kerala. Like we have other 28 states in India. There are many good hospitals outside Kerala also, and there are chain of hospitals again. And we have something new called, which is a trend for the past 5 or 6 years, the contractual companies which are giving services to the government sector. Again, the biomedical engineers have a good opportunity there. And majority of the biomedical engineers, we can see that majority of the biomedical engineers who are working in big hospitals and in these kind of companies in India are Keralites. I've traveled as a part of my job. I've traveled through all the states in India, except Jammu. You can see that the biomedical engineers, maybe like the senior most engineers, like they are from North India, or like they could be from their locality, but there are biomedical engineers from Kerala, like who are working in majority of the hospitals. I'll not say that like all the hospitals, but majority of the hospitals, you can see that. So what I'm saying is, what I meant to say is that there is a job prospect. I mean, the thing is, you will have to believe on the natural justice that is called as survival of the fittest. Then you have a job.
Okay, and one of the major concern I have received from many biomedical engineers are jobs in government sector that you mentioned earlier. So we are, can you just specify how many biomedical engineers are from Kerala working in government sector?
Yes, I mean, the problem is with the biomedical engineering field is that like it's a new generation, it's a baby still. So there is no cadre in the government sector right now. There is no established. I'll not say that like there is no cadre at all, but there is no established cadre for biomedical engineering fraternity in the government sector. But whereas in Kerala, like we have very recently, like around 3 biomedical engineers. Yes, 3 biomedical engineers are there in the government service right now. It's in DME. We have person in biomedical engineer in Calicut Medical College. We have in Alappuzha Medical College, and very recently, like one person got selected from the list, the PSC list. The list has already expired. So there are 3 biomedical engineers working in the pure designation of biomedical engineer in government of Kerala. But whereas in the central government public undertaking, yes, there are very few posts, and some of the Kerala biomedical engineers are also working in some of the public undertakings in some of the Navaratna companies, which is controlled by the central government. Then we have KMSCL, which is a public sector or like public corporation under the government of Kerala, KMSCL. Like the Medical Services Corporation in any other state, we have in Kerala also. There are very few biomedical engineers working there. Most of the biomedical engineers are on contract basis there. Yeah, but we have the biomedical post there also. And the other thing is that has to be considered in a very broad way, not limited to Kerala. This is the case with all the state government.
I want to ask one more question here. See, we are going through the COVID-19 pandemic. We know how important maintaining and managing the medical equipment. So how do you look at in that perspective? The importance of biomedical engineers have improved a lot. We know that, and many recognition we have seen in maybe newspaper or in television news or whatever it is. So we have seen the role of biomedical engineer, and the recognition also improved. So what are the opportunities you are seeing there, or even in Kerala?
Thanks to the pandemic, in a positive way, at least the biomedical engineers like got notified or noticed during this pandemic period. I mean, people came to know, or the hospitals came to know, or the authorities. I'll say that the authorities or the administration, they came to know that like there is a department called biomedical engineering, which is a vital part of the hospital, the managing the hospital, day-to-day activities of the hospital. And yes, all the medical colleges. By the way, I should not, I should tell this because all the medical colleges, they have biomedical engineering departments. All the government medical colleges, especially in Kerala, they have biomedical engineering departments, but maybe like not a permanent setup, but those are contract engineers, like, and all the medical colleges, especially the medical college in Manjeri. I should mention their name, I think so, because the biomedical engineering team and the biomedical HOD there, they have tried, their level best, and they're still trying their level best to get noticed or to, make people or the administration aware of the importance of the biomedical engineering. Yes, they are into everything. And now whatever goes on related to the technical side or related to the IT, the information technology side, the LIS kind of side, biomedical engineering department in Manjeri is consulted. And overnight, we have, including Manjeri and other medical colleges also, we have established, ICUs, we have established hospitals, we have made the ventilators ready. And yes, there is an important for that. And I should mention this also. We have something called NHM, which is the National Health Mission. The previous NRHM, now it is NHM. We have engineers, biomedical engineers, in NHM in almost all the districts. I think all the 14 districts we have biomedical engineers through NHM. NHM is the backbone of the health sector in Kerala. Not only in Kerala, like all the states. It's the backbone of the health sector in India. And we have 14 dedicated engineers who are working on contract basis in NHM. And they all are, almost all of them are seniors. And they do their job. Yes, during the pandemic, the biomedical engineering department have done their best.
Yeah, regarding you were talking about the contract basis. Even when I had speak with one of the person in NHM, they were talking like they have taken one person, I think very old and time, as a permanent post. So even they are giving taking people on contract basis. Even in government sector, we can see the private company is looking after the services. So in that aspect, how do you look into that? If a private sector is handling all those equipments, the opportunities for biomedical engineers in government sector is again, it is, I don't know whether there will be any opportunity if it is going in that way. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
BTEC has raised its voice. BTEC has raised its concern regarding this particular point. We have met the delegation from BTEC. We have met Chief Minister Comrade Pinarayi Vijayan last year. Then the Health Minister, the previous Health Minister, Comrade K.K. Shailaja teacher last year. The Industries Minister, Comrade E.P. Jayarajan. Then the Labor Minister also, like we met from BTEC. And number of letters we have drafted and sent to all the MLAs, all the MPs, all the ministers, including the higher officials in health department, asking, not against anyone, but asking what is the stand of government and creating when it comes to the creation of biomedical engineering posts. The policy of government is right now it is like in DHS we have a contractual system. A particular company is taking care of the day-to-day activities of the biomedical engineering department in the DHS. And the reply that we got from the health secretary is that in DME also that will be established soon. So the contractual system, that's a trend. I mean, we should not keep our eyes closed against it. Towards it, I'll say, because in almost all the states, that is the same situation. Except in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, there is an established biomedical cadre. But other than Tamil Nadu, we don't have any established cadre. And all the hospitals, all the government hospitals are being maintained and managed by the contractual companies. Yes, I mean, that is the stand of Kerala government also currently. And see, the government jobs are not limited to any state government. There are many other huge employers in India. The largest employer in the world, that is in India, Indian Railways. And Indian Railways, they have very good hospitals, especially the research hospital which is in Delhi, which I had visited. So Delhi Railway Hospital, that is the largest hospital under the Indian Railways. They don't have a cadre for biomedical engineers. They have for everything. But there is no biomedical engineering cadre there. And when you go to the next biggest or the largest employer, defense, the defense hospitals across the country, including R&R, the research and referral hospital, which is in the heart of the capital city, Delhi. That's a state-of-art hospital, which can compete with any big establishment in the India. You see the army cadre or the defense cadre. You can see all people from like all the professions, but there is no biomedical engineers there. So that is about the hospital or the government sector. But again, we have something called AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. The flagship AIIMS is in Delhi, and we have AIIMS in almost all the states right now. Again, if you consider about or if you think about the biomedical engineering department in AIIMS, there is no biomedical engineering department in AIIMS. Yes, BTEC also raising its voice against this discrimination, I'll say, and along with some other people who are working in this field for many years. BMESI, again, Biomedical Engineering Society of India, they are sending their voice also. They are raising their voice against this discrimination. So AIIMS, actually, they have people again employed on contractual basis, but there is no permanent cadre. So that is the scenario when you come to the government cadre or like the cadre, the biomedical cadre in the government sector. It's not only the case with Kerala government; it's the same in almost all the state governments in India and including the central
Okay.
government. But I don't know like what will be the future for that. And nowadays you can see that the policy of the central government, including central government, it is like they are going for contractual jobs in majority of the cases. So I don't know what will be the fate of our struggles and our representations, but we will fight for that.
And we were talking about different issues facing by biomedical engineers. And I have seen many biomedical engineering graduates are asking about the training part as well. When it comes to the training, I know people are doing training in companies. When it comes to the hospital, I have seen hospital providing training with stipend. There are hospitals who provide training without any fee and without any stipend as well. And there are hospitals those who charge for training as well. So what do you think about this? Somehow there are different classification on this as well. There is no standard. Somebody giving stipend, somebody is not paying anything, somebody asking for money.
Yeah.
So how do you look into that? Or what is BTEC's viewpoint on that?
Yeah, actually, for the training or the training for the fresh BME graduates just after their course. I started my career with this similar kind of training, which I paid from my pocket, and the negative or the negativity that I had, or the bad impression about myself I had, and the physical or the mental pressure I was undergoing during that period was, still it's a nightmare for me. I don't want to remember those days because even after completing your so-called engineering degree, you'll have to pay from your pocket and get trained. Whereas my days, like the days which I got passed out in 2007, that was the golden era for the IT sector, and almost all my friends, even from the Biomedical Engineering Department, they got placed in the biggest IT companies, and they are drawing salary, whereas I am paying from my pocket. See, that is a kind of, my viewpoint is that's antisocial. I'll call it as antisocial.
And I need to add one more thing. Even I could see many vacancies are circulating. That is like, it is not job opportunity. It is like free. We are providing free training. What it is? See, we are, after completing the course, they are telling we have a free vacancy. You can come here and you can do the job, and we don't pay you anything. I don't see. It is like when I had a session with different people. What I understood, even in different countries also, there are voluntary service. If somebody is approaching them whether I need training, so that is, in my perspective, that is fine. If somebody is asking that I need training, and it is okay for me, I will work without any stipend or any payment. So, but when it comes to the Kerala, I have seen many hospitals are circulating that we have training vacancy, and you come here and work for us, and we won't pay you anything. I don't think. I think this attitude has to be changed. And I think there are some hospitals who provide, professional training. I'm not telling anything against that. If somebody is giving proper training, maybe scheduled training, maybe something product demonstration, whatever, let them do. I'm not against that. But when we are doing usual work, just like any other biomedical engineers in the department, so we have to do the same job, and they won't pay you. I don't know, for the just certificate. And unfortunately, many people are going for that. I think it is because of the lack of opportunity. I don't know why it is, but still people are going for that. Again, one more thing. There are people who are confused whether shall I go for this training or whether it is mandatory. Mandatory to get a job. There is some lack of awareness about that as well. Some people believe that I need it to get a job. So how do you look into that?
Yeah, Satar, when you think about the so-called paid internship, what I think is, like, from my little knowledge, what I think is this culture got started when some of the hospital, or like one or two hospitals, biomedical engineering department, thought in this way how to make their department a profitable one, a revenue generating one. This was a kind of opportunity in front of them, and they started maybe like without any bad intention, they might have started this. But this is being blindly followed by all the hospitals. And yes, in Kerala, we have a culture like that still in some of the hospitals. Yes, that can be changed. Who can change it? The people who are heading the biomedical engineering department, that is our own brothers and sisters. They can change this culture. Of course, like they can change this culture, and the change has to start from them. The bad impact of this culture is that, as I told, probably like in other hospitals outside Kerala also, like we have biomedical engineers from Kerala working there. And the same kind of culture started in these hospitals also outside Kerala. So now they consider biomedical engineering department as a profitable one or a kind of revenue generating department. I don't know. This can be stopped. It could be stopped only if the people who are heading the biomedical engineering department thinks, and they should, consider in they should be humane.
Yeah, when I say I'm against this chargeable service, I need to add one more example. When I was speaking with a senior biomedical person asking about this chargeable service, he was like, there are biomedical graduates, those who don't know even how to handle a multimeter. And when we are giving them, costly medical equipment, it is very difficult for us. There are good hospitals who conduct interviews and take shortlisting the candidates and giving training. I have seen that as well. I just need to add that. So there is a negative part. The feedback I have received.
Yeah.
And
let us. I have a point to that. Let us not, go in a very negative way. The people, including me, the people like who are in their mid career or in their the highly heavily experienced people, everyone started as a fresher, right? I mean, it was not like I just got passed out from a engineering college and I got the manager post. No. It took almost like 15 years for me to reach this position. And I started as a very humble, a very normal, very basic engineer. I believe that everyone started their career as a fresher. And right. we all know that not only with biomedical engineering department, even if you consider a mechanical engineering graduate, you cannot ask a mechanical engineering graduate, a fresher, to go and repair the lathe. A CNC machine, it is not possible. It is impossible. Then how can, they tarnish the freshers? It's not right. Yeah. I'll not say that. And in case, if there are some, exceptions, most of the people, they know the basics. If there are some exceptions, hold them with you and explain them, teach them how to use the multimeter, how to do the solvings, how to do a troubleshooting on a very basic board level. Those kind of things, you can teach them, you can tell them in a friendly way, not in a a negative way, which will be killing their confidence. Right. So that is not right, I think so.
Yeah, and we were talking about this training part. When it comes to the entire biomedical department, I have seen in different hospitals, the value given to the biomedical engineering department is little low compared to any other engineering department. I'm not talking it is the same in all the hospitals. I know there are very good biomedical departments in Kerala. Those who are very highly valued. So there are different classifications in the biomedical engineering department itself. So somebody is undervalued, somebody is highly given priority. So have you ever experienced anything like that?
Yes. As I mentioned previously, my career got started from a hospital. I don't want to mention the name of the hospital, but still, the experience that I was undergoing, it was just a 3 months training for me, the so-called internship for me, and the way that it was going, I was not satisfied. To be frank, I was not satisfied. That needs to be changed. Your value or your department's value is in your hand. It's not in someone else, and you cannot ask, other people or other department or anyone else who are working in the hospital to come and give honor to you. No, you cannot do that. You cannot ask and you cannot request honor from them, but they will have to consider you. They will have to honor you. How? It's all depending upon your work culture and the way you handle the things. Yes, as you rightly mentioned, there are very good biomedical engineering departments which are handled in a true professional way in some of the hospitals in Kerala. Again, I don't want to name the hospitals. I know, and like the people who are listening to us know. Really good hospitals, really good biomedical engineering departments, and they conduct international seminars. They conduct conferences. It's all the next level. Why can't the biomedical engineers in other hospitals? Why don't they elevate to that level? It's all depending. It's all in their hand. And Satar, the main problem is that biomedical engineers, including me, what I was considering is, what is the role of a biomedical engineer? To go and fix a dead machine. No, that's not the role of a biomedical engineer. That's a part of your job, but that is not your core job, or like that's not only your job to fix a dead machine, but you have something else. See, I would like to mention this thing for the medical professionals and the paramedical professionals. They have something called CME, right? Continuing medical educations, seminars. And there is a point which is like, for them, if they conduct or if they attend one CME like that. Why can't the hospital biomedical engineers? I'm sure that like some of the people are doing this, but in case if anyone is not doing it, they can think in this way. It's my humble suggestion. So why can't the biomedical engineers, they conduct something called CTEs? I call it a CT, continuing technical education, to the real end users of some, for example, a defib, a ventilator, an X-ray machine, or anything. Why can't the biomedical engineering department conduct a CTE in every 3 months? Because as we all know that like the big hospitals, they have new paramedical staffs every week or like that. And people will be joining every month. So why can't they do that? In case if it is the same stuff, it's a refreshment training for them, and the value of your department goes up. And the main thing is that the other thing is like some of the instruments will be on AMC, annual maintenance contract with the company which they bought from. Call that engineer or call the application specialist and conduct the CTE. The main thing is that the main benefit for the biomedical engineers is that, or the department is that, one thing, their value will go up. Second thing, they will learn new things. See, biomedical engineers, like they should not limit to the job where they handle the soldering iron, or they handle the multimeter, they handle the screwdriver always. No. That could be for your first 5 or 10 years, like could be that. But again, survival of the fittest is there. If you know many things, or if you excel in your field, you will get a good job. You will get a good, career growth in your thing. Hospital biomedical engineers, yes, they have tremendous opportunities. Materials management, which is one of the hot cakes in the hospital. Materials management, the biomedical engineers, like in case if they have an opportunity, if they get an opportunity, they can get involved in the materials management department. They can do a short-term course like in materials management, and they can involve in the materials management. Purchasing department. Yes, purchasing department, like the biomedical engineers or the biomedical engineering wing team can do a tremendous job, a wonderful job. The people like who are interested in the purchasing side, they can do a short-term course, and they can switch their career to the purchasing department. That is like something, heavily paid. That is heavily paid. Then second thing is that like the administrative side, you can see that the hospitals right now, the MHA course, the Master of Hospital Administration course is there with some of the prestigious universities and colleges in Kerala and India. And AIMS, Delhi, they have an MD course for the hospital administration. I think it's only in AIMS Delhi. And all the hospital administrators or the hospital managers in army, in the defense, they all are from AIMS. this hospital administration department. It's an MD course after MBBS, MD course. And you can see another trend. This I came to know like while doing a kind of, you can call it this, a time pass. In LinkedIn, when I was going through the profiles of many people, there is another trend which I have seen. After BDS, after your BAMS, after MBBS, after your graduation in nursing, after pharmacy, people are going for hospital administration courses like MBA in hospital administration, MBA in hospital management, MHA directly. So why can't the biomedical engineers think in that way? Let them do a course in the hospital administration. There are good short-term courses available, reputed short-term courses available. In case if they want to do a full-time course, again, it is available. Why can't they do this thing? That's how you can elevate your, these are some of the thoughts which come into my mind when you think about, elevating yourself to the next level. Again, the other thing, like those who are working in the field, they should have a competency or like a competent knowledge in the scientific side also, not only on the technical side. Yes, technical side, like everything, or like to an extent, but the scientific side. Yes, when I was working in my company, like I was handling the application side also. I was an application, I was called as an application specialist also. I did not study science, but like these all things are based on your interest. And right now, in my present position, I'm a part of research studies. Like my company in different, departments, there were more than 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 research papers published. And I'm very glad to say that like I'm a part of some of those studies. And you can see that like when I travel, my job is traveling is integral part of my job. Almost 15 days, like I travel in a month. So even more than that sometimes. I have 2 bags. When I go for the research studies, I have a mini laboratory with me, which that bag has everything. It has HCT centrifuge, the hematocrit centrifuge, which the one which measures the hematocrit. I have a small centrifuge from Thermo. I have different types, all types of pipettes, including the pipette stand. I have a small laboratory with me. It's all like it's a very good opportunity that I am getting right now to involve in the research studies. Something different from the routine kind of technical job. So that is my humble suggestion to the fellow biomedical engineers. Like elevate yourself, learn new things, and you will get recognition automatically.
Yeah, of course. And there are well-recognized biomedical engineers also in the field. And we were
yes.
And we were talking about the different opportunities we are having, how we can improve ourselves. So we should also look into the salary aspect of biomedical engineers as well. So when in Kerala, maybe in India, the salary scale I have observed that is comparatively less in hospital. I think I have sometimes when coming to the multinational companies or companies, I have seen it is a bit higher. So have you ever checked that aspect?
Yes, you are right in that. The salary scale for, I'm talking about the Indian aspect, the salary scale for the hospital engineers are very less. They are very less paid. Exceptions are there. As we discussed, the people who got excelled in their field, yes, there are exceptions, but others, on an average, or the majority, the lion's share, they are drawing very less salary in hospital. But of course, when they don't consider the financial part, and they consider the experience part, from this job, then of course, like that's beneficial for them when they try to migrate to any Western countries or Middle East countries, or the countries like Australia or New Zealand, some South American countries, some of the African countries. Yes, the hospital engineers are paid well. But as you rightly mentioned, the MNCs, the field service engineers and those kind of application engineers or support engineers in the MNCs, like they are paid heavily. Sometimes like even more than, when you compare it with the IT, sometimes it is more than an IT personnel also. Like the FSCs are heavily paid, but it's up to you. Again, if you work as an FSC and like if they want to migrate to a different country, again the salary is at par, but hospital engineers are paid well in outside India. And the other thing is that you have different opportunities. See, in India, apart from the core health sector, we have IT industry. India is the IT capital of the world, right? We have the Silicon Valley of Asia, that is in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Cochin and Trivandrum, like it's a huge IT hub. TCS has biomedical engineers. Infosys has biomedical engineers. Cognizant has biomedical engineers. Many IT companies have biomedical engineers. Those IT companies who are working in the health domain, they have core biomedical engineers because they need them to for the development.
Add one thing. Yeah. One of the recent thing I have observed, many of the conglomerate companies are moving towards healthcare. That's one of the trend I have observed for the past few years. Those who are having multiple division, one would be medical division. I think the similar trend in the past few years.
Yeah. See, that trend is there for the medical, for the software, core software companies, because I'll say that, I mean, during my tenure in Middle East, I visited one of my principal's headquarters, which is in one of the Scandinavian countries, and I was there for the training. And like I could meet some of the Keralites IT engineers, and when I inquired, of course, like we'll get to know each other, right? Especially like when we see people from Kerala. Like when I inquired, they said that like they are not employed by that company; they are from Wipro.
Okay.
I asked how. Then they said like, it's their on-site assignment. Because then I came to know that like the entire software of this company, which is a huge company, which is a part of a very huge organization. So that software is being developed by Wipro, and like the Indian engineers, IT engineers are working on it. And you know what, Satar, other companies, other multinational companies, huge companies like Thermo Fisher, companies like GE, companies like Beckman Coulter, they have their IT division in India.
Yeah.
And they are recruiting IT engineers. And they're recruiting biomedical engineers also, because they should have at least one biomedical engineer who knows the medical domain also, right?
Yeah.
And there is, one thing which I would like to share. Manipal Institute of Technology, MIT, part of Manipal University, one of the oldest engineering colleges in India with the Biomedical Engineering Department. They have a course called postgraduate course, MS. They have a course called medical software, MS in medical software. Some of my colleagues, some of my classmates and juniors during my college days, after completing their graduation, UG, they joined for this course, and all of them are placed in very reputed software firms. And they are not working on, the general codings. They are working on the medical domain itself. So there are scopes. Like if you want to switch to your field, there are chances, and the salary structure is different. IT, you go to IT, your salary structure is totally different. You go to MNCs, again, the salary structure is above average. For sure, it's above average. You go to a middle level company, your salary is average. You go to hospital, yes, different hospitals. If it's a group or chain of hospitals, they pay well. And if it's a small hospital, the payment also will be less. So the payment is not, regularized in our field, and which is impossible.
But it is good that you mentioned the different aspects where we have good salary. What are the opportunities we are having? Yes. Even I have noticed that the payment is very good in leading hospitals. For example, those who have NIBH accreditation, those who have JCI accreditation, and they are paying a decent salary as well. So when come back to BTech, I just want to know, what are the future plans of BTech, or what are the next steps that you are going to do?
Yeah, BTech actually, I mean, when we started in 2000, when we restarted in 2016, 17, we had a hope that we can, establish our organization or our association very soon. But soon after that, like 2018, 2019, we were behind, I mean, since it is getting registered under the Trade Union Act. Again, don't get confused with the trade union. We don't have affiliation with any political trade unions. It's an independent organization. And we have no plans for getting associated with any political trade unions. So the bylaw, the preparation of the bylaw itself was a huge task, Herculean task, and we have completed that. And my LLB degree, I should proudly say that my LLB degree helped a lot in that. And the thing is, after that, like we have registered, we have got the provisional registration. Now, the future plan is that we have somewhere around 4,000 biomedical engineers and technicians and people who have completed their VHSC course, VHSC, ITI, BTech, BE, then MSc, MTech, PhD. We have people from all the streams, and somewhere around 4,000 engineers have done their provisional registration. Right now, we have given only the provisional registration, and we are hoping that. And in between, for the past 2 years, as we all know, that because of the pandemic, we had limited access. And probably like in 2022, we'll be able to, in 2021 itself, like we'll be able to complete the permanent registration. Once it is done, then we will start our membership campaign. Right now, all the engineers are, provisional members, and we will start the real membership campaign. Once the membership campaign, which will take somewhere around 6 to 8 months, once it is completed, all the district committees will come. All the 14 districts will have district committees and district, executives, and district conventions will be convened, and from there the district committees will come. Then after completing all the district conventions and creating or forming the district committees, will go for the state convention. New state committee will come. And state convention, what we are expecting is, what we are dreaming about is like we should do the official inauguration of BTech. Yes, BTech is in place, but we are thinking, or we are hoping that like we should make an official inauguration of BTech during the first state convention. And we hope that the health minister or the high dignitaries and the prominent biomedical engineers, they all will be invited for that. And the other thing is that, as we all know, that when we think about the future, as our most celebrated Indian president, Dr. Kalam, said about the dream is not the one which you see when you sleep. I'm sorry if I am using the right sentence, but the concept is this: dream is not the one which you see when you sleep, but dream is the one which will not let you sleep, right? So thinking in that way, you take doctors, they have IMA. You take dentists, dental surgeons or dental doctors, they have IDA. And similarly, they have professional associations. For all the things. And when you travel through the districts, they have IMA houses in almost all the districts, and they have very good state office for IDA, IMA, or an Ayurvedic Medical Association, whatever it is. So we dream in that way, that once BTech also will have the same kind of establishment with one good state office, which is a rented one right now. We'll have our own place, we'll have our own office, and we will have our own offices in all the districts.
Yeah, I need to add one more question. What are the, for biomedical engineers and students can expect from BTech? What are the support they can expect from this association?
Yeah. As I mentioned, BTech is an umbrella which comprises of all the people from biomedical the field. And when it comes to the support, we would like to mention one thing, like we will not go for any, that's the proclaimed stand of BTech, that we will not go for any agitation, we will not go for any protest against any, hospital, any companies. No, we don't do that. We deal the things diplomatically only, like we will not deal the things in that higher agitation level. No. So the students, like what we are expecting is, what we are thinking is, like there was a basic discussion for that also, like students chapters in the colleges, the institutions that we mentioned in the beginning of our discussion. Right. So students, Satar, one more thing is that, I mean, why, I forgot to address that question previously. See, some of the freshers or some of the recent graduates, they think that this paid internship is a mandatory thing. Why? It's all because of the wrong orientation which they get, right? So BTech, like what, I mean, to an extent, that blame, to an extent only, that blame goes to the teachers. I'll say that teachers, they should give a proper orientation. I mean, teachers are doing tremendous, job. I mean, I really appreciate them. I like them, but the orientation, the real life orientation, when it comes to that part, the real life orientation, which is taught at the college, is not to that extent.
Yeah, when I studied in model engineering college, that I have seen the faculty, those who are providing support. I have visited different colleges as well. So I know it is purely based on the support the college is giving. So from my experience, I'm studied in a college who started in 1989. Okay, they have a good legacy. So even I had, we had enough contact, enough network. So it was easy for us to get conducting different sessions or talks, whatever, workshops, whatever it is. But when it comes to the new colleges, the one you mentioned is really important. So if the faculties are not much aware about what's happening in the industry, that is very important. The future of biomedical engineers depends on the faculties or the teachers as well. That's rightly mentioned.
100% true. And there comes the importance of, upgrading your knowledge. Satar, nowadays, like everything is online. Everything is online. There are courses conducted by prominent universities like Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, and many other, Red Hat kind of courses for the biomedical engineers, and the real, not the teaching side or the research side, but the real hand core biomedical courses are there, short-term online courses. Faculties can think about doing all those kind of courses. Talk to there are exceptions, but in case if they have not thought in that way, they can think about having an industry collaboration with the biomedical engineering department. Some of the colleges are doing that, especially the one which you mentioned, and some other college also, they are doing that, excellent in that. But this kind of orientation should be given to the students, that yes, this is not mandatory, but in case, as you mentioned, like if the student, if I don't get a job even after 6 months, and if I'm ready to give a voluntary service to a hospital which is near to me, that's a different scenario. But they cannot give an advertisement saying that we are inviting applications for the paid internship. No. So the orientation, the lack of orientation. So BTech is trying to, in case if that is required, we will try to fill that gap.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. When I was speaking with friends from different countries, when I had session on higher studies possibilities in different countries, so the one they mentioned that their curriculum is made in such a way that they are giving equal importance to training as well. So that is one disadvantage I have seen in India, or the curriculum we are having. So we are thinking about training only after completing the course. And I mentioned earlier, there are graduates calling me and asking where I will get training. So the awareness is very bad. So I think it should go hand in hand. So if we have such a facility to get training, it is not always training. We can do some workshops or maybe hands-on training, whatever. Even nowadays, everything is virtual. Why we can't something do virtually? That's also possible nowadays. So if BTech is thinking in that level, that's really, I would really appreciate that.
Yes, of course. That's one of our bullet points in the bucket list and list for the future. And of course, the faculties, they can gain knowledge. They can conduct the conferences. They can conduct the latest trends on the industry. They can invite industry people, and that's how the orientation kind of things gets improved. And the people, the students, they also will come to know about the things. And BMESI is one of the best platform for that. They support all this kind of activities. Yes.
And one more thing, it will be watched by biomedical engineers as well as students. So as a BTech representative, we discussed many aspects. What are the suggestions you are having to them?
Yeah. This we discussed already to an extent in our discussion. But for the biomedical engineers, I'll say that the people who are working in the hospital, I don't have much hospital experience, just 3 months of hospital experience. So please forgive me in case if I'm just telling something which is impractical. But what I think is, the people who are working in the hospital, again, the natural justice prevails always. That is the survival of the fittest. So they should get excelled in their field, and they are not only there for fixing a dead machine or doing a preventive maintenance. No. That's your routine job. Maybe like you can prioritize it. Apart from that, elevate yourself, elevate your department to the next level, make an impact of your department in the hospital. You can think about conducting this conferences, like one of the hospitals in Kerala, they do that. Annual conferences, they can do that. And during this pandemic, some of the hospitals, they have come up with new ideas for the small instruments or machines, kind of ventilators. So you can elevate your department, you can elevate yourself to the next level, make an impact in the hospital itself. See, hospital is a place where the preference is given for the medical and paramedical staff. Of course, like we are technical staff, we are not paramedics, we are not medicos. So like we need to work hard to have an impact on that system. Whereas like when you consider ISRO, when you consider the other big engineering companies like BHEL, BEL, where they have go to IAS, Indian Institute of Science. There are doctors, but doctors are not the preferable one there. Because in those companies, like the engineers, they are ruling those establishments, but doctors are not that important. Same as the case with hospital, where we are unfortunately or fortunately into, we are not that important. We will not get that importance if we don't do, or if we don't elevate ourselves or to the next level. So do that. CT is kind of thing. Probably like some of you will be doing it, but if that is not done so far, do that. Call the engineers from the companies from outside. Do this. Conduct the CTs. Learn new things. Learn new machines. Some of the advices that I can give to the biomedical engineers who are working in the hospital. And when it comes to the people who are working in the field, again, same thing. Your job is not limited to do the service with screwdrivers, with the multimeters. No, you can try to gain knowledge in the core scientific side. Think about doing something in that. Think about handling the application side. Some of the companies, they are, giving the job opportunities like in that way, or the JDs are being changed in that way. But still, if there are still some companies or some FSCs, they are not interested in the application side, they will have to learn that. Tomorrow's day, one fine day, like it will be a mandatory thing for them. And if you don't know the application side, if you don't know the scientific side, and if you are blindly, like just come and do the repair, no, you cannot sustain, or you cannot be a champion in your department. And for the students also, get knowledge. For the faculty also, get knowledge. Nowadays everything is online. Do the courses, do short-term courses, and whichever field you are interested in, along with the biomedical engineering department, if you think that like that can be merged. We know some of the celebrated biomedical engineers from Kerala who were working as the purchasing head, the national purchasing heads of some of the biggest chain hospitals in India. It's all because they started their career with career in the biomedical engineering department as a normal fresher biomedical engineer. But later, because of their hard work, because of their different thinking, they became, this key people. So think in that way. That's my suggestion. That's the suggestion from the BTech. Be with BTech, and BTech will be there with the biomedical.
And one more suggestion or question I'm having. We know every department in Kerala is working different. It is not the same way all the departments are working, I have mentioned earlier. So there are some hospitals who are NABH accredited and some are JCA accredited as well. So is there any way you can coordinate or support the all biomedical department to get into a specified standard? For example, some are working in a different level, so they are some working really good. So somebody is not, not up to the expectation of what we think. Okay, so is there any level you can support as a BTech representative?
Yes, this was a requirement, or this was a suggestion. This was one of the major point of discussion in one of our, clubhouse meetings. So, as you rightly mentioned, if you take the hospitals, the SOPs are totally different. But nowadays, like to an extent, it is streamlined because of the SOPs which is given by the Ministry of Women. What is that? Family Welfare, Health and Family Welfare. There are SOPs available, and because of the NABL guidelines, to an extent, it is there. But the hospitals which are not NABH accredited or not JCA accredited, it's all different. So what we think is, once we have completed our the registration process, and once we are into the track, what we will do is, like, what we are hoping to do is probably like make an SOP. That was a requirement for that was a requirement or like suggestion from many of the BMEs to BTech, that make an SOP and circulate it among the people. So for that, what we need is, like, we need the help of the people who are working in this field for many years, working in senior biomedical engineers. So that we have many senior experienced biomedical engineers across the world, people working in NHS, people are working in Middle East, and in the big hospitals, JCA accredited hospitals, NABH hospitals in Kerala. So we need help and support, generous help and support from them to make that SOP, and we can streamline the activity of biomedical engineering department in all the hospitals. It will not happen in fortnight. It will take time, maybe probably like another couple of years, or maybe 5 years down the line. Probably like we can make that, SOPs, and we can do that. Yeah. And we need the support. BTech is requesting support.
Yeah, right. And I think we have covered almost all the aspects. And anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. And I really appreciate your effort and the teams, those who are working behind. I really appreciate all the team members as well. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, Satar, BTech is not me. BTech is not, the people who are in the post now. We are here to serve the community. And thank you so much for giving an opportunity for BTech. BTech is the entire BME fraternity, the entire Kerala fraternity, and from different states. When they come to know about the BTech, some of the engineers, they contact us and they ask, like, we don't have something in our state. So like, we are happy to hear that at least in Kerala we have something called BTech which can act as an umbrella for the biomedical fraternity there. Thank you so much, Satar, and we really appreciate all your efforts, and I personally appreciate you. We know each other from so many years now, and the efforts that you have taken. When you were behind the screen and not in the limelight, and the efforts that you have taken, it's really appreciated. I think we have discussed about these things when we met in Chennai also, right? My previous company is Warehouse, and yes, Satar, BTech appreciates you. I personally appreciate you. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity for BTech in your biomedical blog. Thanks a lot.